the first time I ever had the privilege of going underwater, it was in Barbados in 1983 when my dad was getting married. Barbados might well have been the moon or Mars. Like, that's how far away Barbados was in the world that I grew up in. And when I put a mask on and snorkeling and went underwater for that first time, what I became present to at 13 years old is there's only, as we live it, 3 places to go, 3 real different worlds. There's the world that we live in on land. There's space, where Perrin, Lorette, and others are headed to. We're not going there yet, but are headed to. We're not able to do that quite yet. And then there's the undersea world. And it's just sitting there. And when I dropped down and I saw a coral head, and I can't do this anymore, obviously, with my vision, but when I first saw a coral head at 13, I saw just this immense world. Like a coral head that was this big, just this big at the bottom. And there were, larger fish that were, this big. And there were smaller fish that maybe were this big. And there were smaller fish that were this big, and teeny tiny little fish that were like this big, as you get like super zoomed in to what's happening there. And many of those fish will live on that coral head basically their entire life. Like, that's their planet Earth, or at least their city, right? And I couldn't believe it. Fish of every color, of every size. And then I became present to the fact that the coral is alive. But the coral is alive. And the fish and other sea creatures interact with the coral to keep it alive. Like the turtles eat the algae, and all kinds of beautiful things are happening. And there's pollinating going on where the right language is, the way bees are to flowers. There are sea creatures that are to the coral. And all of this is happening. And it's this little tiny world, I'll call it an ecosystem now, that is surviving and interacting. And it's beautiful, and it's magical, and it's competitive. There's a war going on. I mean, some of those fish are eating each other, right? This is all happening in the power, the beauty, the majesty of nature. And how that resonates potentially for you is that's just what life is in every beautiful way. And we could look at that and say, because I've gone with people scuba diving. I'm just saying this with humility, but I don't have the interactions I used to have. But at one time in my life, back in the beginning, I would go on scuba boats with other people. I don't go on scuba boats with other people anymore. I charter the boats with Nick. So I'm coming down, it's our boat, that's it. We go where we want to go. We're not interacting with others. That's not to be exclusive. That's just to have a beautiful, peaceful experience or connected experience with the people that I want to be connected there with.